Hey girl, hey, Tara Jones-Williamson here, and today I'm showing you how I make my Jiffy cornbread in my cast iron skillet. This is how my mom has been doing it since I was young, and this is how I do it. Now, this is not going to be a super moist cornbread hack type of video. I do not like my cornbread super moist. I know a lot of people do, but that is not me. I like mine with some substance. So first of all, first thing that I do is chop a nice size, I think about 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, and put it in my cast iron. And I throw the cast iron skillet into the oven while it's preheating to allow the butter to melt. And then in the next clip, you'll see that once the butter starts melting, that I shift it around in the cast iron to get that butter all over to where it is coated the cast iron, because it just creates a nice bottom crust for the cornbread. It is just like so unmatched. So that is the first thing that I do. And then for the rest of the recipe, I do follow the box. If I want a more moist cornbread mix or cornbread outcome, I will put sour cream and a little bit more milk in it. But other than that, I just follow the box if I want a standard structured cornbread, all right? And so in this clip, you'll see me throwing that cast iron with the butter inside in there. So then I grab a mixing bowl and I put 2 packs of Jiffy mix into the bowl. Then I will put 2 eggs. So I'll crack 2 eggs in there. I do not beat the eggs prior to putting it in there. I just put it right in the bowl. And as you can see, I am fumbling with that box, but eventually I'll use my knuckle to kind of bust it open and then rip it open. But 2 eggs. Then I put some milk in there. Each box calls for 1/3 cup of milk, and so I use 2/3 cup altogether. For me, I am realizing that I'm starting to become dairy sensitive, or lactose sensitive, I should say, and so I use the Fairlife milk, the ultra filtered milk that doesn't have lactose in it. I think it's like 2% milk. That was just fine. And 2 eggs. And then when that butter melts, there's going to be some leftover butter once I coat the cast iron skillet. It's going to be some leftover butter off up in there, and I use that butter in the Jiffy mix as well, and I mix it all together. So in a few seconds you will see, like, girl, you got to put all the ingredients together, put them eggs up in there, that milk in there, the butter, and mix it all together, and it just creates a great consistency for your cornbread. Now this cornbread is specifically, I love when I'm doing my chili. Like, I love a good dry but a little bit moist cornbread. I don't like too moist of a cornbread when I have something that's moist that I'm pairing with it. Right now I'm showing you that I'm going to fill the milk up to the 2/3 way full and add that off up in there. And so the next thing that I'm going to do is mix it up, mix it up. Make sure when you are mixing your cornbread mix, you do not over mix. And it is okay to have a little bit of lumps, but you do not want to over mix. And you do not want to, again, for me, make sure that your consistency is too runny. Again, I do not like a runny cornbread mix. If you are looking for a super ultra moist cornbread that's going to fall apart, this is not that. I can't say it enough. But girl, yeah, look at that. Look at that butter. I just love cooking, y'all. Yes, look at that butter. And I try to get it to the sides of the cast iron as much as possible. Get that nice and coated, and then I pour the rest that is left into my mix. Look at that. Set that right on the stove. It is hot, so make sure you are using something to hold the handle, because no matter how short of a time it was in there, girl, it is hot. That handle is hot. And so, yep, I keep mixing until there's a good consistency, and I will use the whisk starting off. And then I end up grabbing like a little silicone spatula to where I can make sure that all of the sides are mixed, the bottom is mixed, like everything is turned into the center of the mix to where nothing is left behind. There's nothing that's unmixed. There's no dry cornbread mix left anywhere. Look at that. Look at that consistency. That is what you want, sis. Listen, that is what you want right there. Let me go ahead and grab my spatula so I can clean off the sides, make sure everything is mixed well and mixed properly so we can get it in the cast iron skillet. Girl, like I said, my mom has been using this recipe for years. Let me know in the comments if you are a sweet cornbread lover or if you like a little bit more of a savory, salty cornbread. We are sweet cornbread lovers over here. I don't put anything extra in it to make it sweet. To me, Jiffy cornbread mix is sweet enough. I am not trying to catch diabetes, right? We don't use this. We don't eat cornbread often at all. Again, it's every now and then, maybe once every other month we cook with cornbread or we eat a dish with cornbread. Again, it's not something that is on our weekly regimen or even our monthly regimen. But it is a great addition for us to jambalaya. This is what I'm cooking it with. Today is jambalaya. I'll cook it with chicken noodle soup. I'll cook it with chili. I'll cook it with, Thanksgiving dinner or Christmas dinner, or holiday, something like that. But this is not something that, in my opinion, you cook every day. So then, you put it into your preheated oven. Your oven should have been preheated to 400 if I did not say that already. And then I started off at 15 minutes and then I check. Now I know my cornbread takes about 18 minutes in the cast iron skillet with my oven, but for some reason my mom always starts with 15 minutes. She check it at 15 minutes and then she puts it in for the extra time, and so that's what I do. Because I don't want it to be overly cooked. And so as you can see, it's getting there. It was a little bit of stuff on there. And so that's when I know to put it in for 2 more minutes. And then about 17 to 18 minutes, that's when I take it out. And it is at the perfect consistency for me and my family and how we like it. After we take it out, we put some butter on the top. You're going to see that in the next clip. I use some earthbound butter, again, trying to eliminate some of that dairy as much as possible. I did use a dairy-based butter in the recipe, like when the mixing and the coating of the cast iron. But what I'm topping it with is the earthbound non-dairy buttery spread. That is what I use to top it off. I love the taste of this butter. It is so good. It tastes just like regular butter to us. And yep, while it's super hot, it just melts right on there so well. And then I let it sit for about 30 minutes and then I cut it. I've noticed that if you do not let your cast iron cornbread completely sit for 30 minutes and cool down, that if you try to cut into it too soon, oh my goodness, it is annoying how unclean your cuts come out when you start cutting the cornbread. And so this was it after 30 minutes sitting. So then I pull it to the front and then I start cutting it, and I cut it in 8 slices. So for me, a 2-box cornbread will make 8 slices or 8 servings. And so I kind of cut it like a pizza, where I cut it in fourths and then, kind of cut those fourths into halves to where it makes 8 all together. And again, we just love it. Look how easily that goes through. It does not stick. It does not crumble. Girl, this cornbread mix or this cornbread recipe you have to try. Again, I can do a more moist cornbread recipe when we cook it. Again, it's probably going to be a while because we don't cook cornbread very often. But girl, look at the crust on this. You about to see in a second, girl. Look when I pull up this piece. Girl, look how clean that comes out. And look at the cornbread crust. Yes, 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. Thank you for watching this video.